to the Gaming Block Podcast, your number one podcast for all of the pertinent video game news spanning across all platforms, including Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, PC, Luna, ColecoVision. I think that's coming back, and more. I'm your host, Andrew and Ron, and today I'm joined by one half of the bad boys of video games because they hate each other and they'll never do a show again together, Roger Bennon. On today's show, we're going to be talking about that PlayStation event that happened. A lot of feelings about that. And then we're also going to talk about The Last of Us factions because we have breaking news for the first time. Yeah, and I think because of the way... I think because we're recording this on Friday and this news literally broke an hour ago. If I get this uploaded tonight, we'll be one of the first podcasts in the world to talk about this breaking news.
Oh.
So how about that? But before all that, tradition dictates I ask my co-hosts how they have been.
I'm okay.
There it is. He's a simple man with a simple statement. He's okay.
Yeah. Not great.
Roger, we're just gonna jump right into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Tears of the Kingdom is a video game.
Dude, it's totally a game.
Yeah. I have 50 hours in it, and I've completed one dungeon.
I think now, dude, I'm up to like
80,
70 or 75.
Yeah.
And I've completed, I am finishing the second dungeon as we speak. I was about to walk into the boss fight when you texted me and you're like, podcast? I'm like, yeah, okay.
So we're about the same pace. We're kind of completing at the same pace. I've done the psychotic thing actually in Tears of the Kingdom now where I looked up a map.
I don't understand why you said this was your issue with Breath of the Wild, and you're repeating the same thing.
And I put down 300 stamps on where the Korok seeds are, and about the last 10 hours of gameplay have just been me getting Korok seeds.
I don't understand you at all.
Because I have a problem. I have to 100% a game before I beat it. I have to. I didn't do it in Breath of the Wild.
Just let Korok seeds be the exception to that rule. Just find them as you go. Just that's the whole point of them is just finding them as you go. If I remember correctly, Breath of the Wild, you would max out your shit and still have like 400 to 500 more Korok seeds.
So in Tears of the Kingdom, I think it is like 400 to 500 Korok seeds will max out everything, and there's 1,000 in the game.
Yeah, Jesus.
And so I'm about 250.
Okay, at least just max out your inventory and then go from there.
I might, but I'm at the point now though where I've put so much effort into this that I'm like, well, I only got to do the map thing 2 more times and that'll be basically 1,000. You see what I mean? I've already done it once. What's 2 more times?
None of this. I see what you mean. Like this entire concept. It's just like the worst way to play this game.
No, I think it's a great way to play this game.
I get
to just experience the game, you know? I'm experiencing the world. And it is kind of cool, too, because, I'm really good at the Korok puzzles now, believe it or not.
I believe it, yeah.
Doing 200 in a row, I'm like, I am a fucking wizard at all this. I'm also getting better at my construction of vehicles. I think I sent it to you yesterday, or the day before, but I made a motorcycle, a working motorcycle. That was really cool because it kept falling over and shit like that. But then I remember they had that balance attachment or whatever.
Yes,
and I kind of finagled it in there. And then, dude, riding a motorcycle across Hyrule Field was badass.
Yeah. I still am messing with some of that stuff. I did the hover bike that you see online. I made sure to get one of those.
I saw someone made a Metal Gear. That was pretty cool. People are getting pretty creative with it.
I'm afraid I'll let you talk about it because I don't want to say something that you don't know about. But then again, you're looking up a map. Game? Yeah, but then again, you're looking up a map to find a Korok seed, so I kind of respect you less. So I kind of don't care.
It's just Korok seeds. It's nothing else. I'm not looking up spoilers or anything. I still know nothing about this story. I've gotten 2 teardrops. I don't even have the left side of the map unlocked. Like, I haven't been to the desert. I've barely touched the volcano, and I have not been to the top left at all. See, I've strictly been in the bottom right.
I've been I got the middle section, and then the Northwest, and I'm doing the Northeast right now, and then pretty
Okay.
much everything else I've like haven't really touched. In fact, I don't even have the map for the Southwest. I haven't even unlocked the map for that.
Okay.
So
Because I know Jake, he unlocked all the map already. Like, I
yeah,
think that was like one of the first things he did was do that. But I find that, and this is part of the reason too why I'm doing the Korok seeds as well, is because I really am enjoying this game a lot, and I just kind of want to keep playing it. So doing this Korok seed thing, it's like just another reason to keep playing. It's another reason for me to continue exploring the places I've already been, because it's not like I'm doing this at places like I unlock a tower and then I put all the Korok seeds there and then I go there. Like, I've been to all these places 2-3 times already, and now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go back again and get all these seeds. And even then, I'm running into like side quests I might have missed and things like that. Or I'll find a well and I'll explore the well or a
yeah,
cave or things. So
the
it's not
caves.
strictly.
The caves added a lot to that game.
They really did.
Honestly, the crazy thing is, as much as they marketed the Sky Islands, like the depths, that's fucking
The depths are where it's
huge.
at. The Sky
Yeah,
Islands honestly are kind of
they're like kind of
whatever.
cool. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
there's like stuff up there, but like the depths are like, to me, like the main like draw. Like, I love
Oh
going
yeah.
down there and there's like really cool stuff to discover down there. So
Yeah. I probably unlocked like a third of the depths map, maybe a little more.
I'm probably a little less than that.
Yeah, because that was the way I was. Well, do you know the thing about the depths? Its connection to the things on the surface.
I know about
Uh,
the chasms you drop through.
Okay. Well, there's another thing where it's with the light bulbs, but
Well, like,
I don't know. I don't know if that's a spoiler or not. I don't know if you.
okay, I guess I don't know what you're referring to. So
Okay. Do you care?
just sure, just tell
I
me.
mean, it tells you the location of a place. Every
Okay.
single bulb does. So.
Oh, the light bulbs tell you the location of a
Yeah.
place?
Yeah. So I was just kind of like going to every single one of those light bulbs, and
Oh,
then
do you
that
mean
would
the
tell
ones
me.
that the light up the area down there?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Okay. Okay. They
yeah,
tell you a location of a place.
yeah. Hmm.
Did I
I
miss
didn't
that?
realize it for a while, but then I just on happenstance like was switching through my maps. And I was like, oh shit, these all line up and correlate. So,
Huh.
but
Okay.
that's why I unlocked so much in the map was because I just kept going for those stupid light things. And I really like too that at first I didn't know if it was gonna illuminate everything, but it definitely does. Like when
Yeah,
you start getting them in a row, like it illuminates the whole place.
okay, all right.
So
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
I hold on, I got a work text.
Oh boy. He said, we're missing some letters. It was Rodney's birthday, and he definitely said his great grandparents were sending him a letter today, and he did not get it. We're gonna need an explanation on this immediately.
Dude, my work, I don't know what's been going on, but they've been just like having a lot of small fuck ups with just a whole bunch of shit. Like yesterday, they had to pay me back like $15 because they messed up some of the overtime. And today, uh, we have a note we can sign. If we don't want to take a lunch, we can do that and get off early. And I did
Yeah.
that. And my boss is like, "Did you take a no lunch today?" I'm like, "Yeah, I signed the fucking thing."
It's all right. It's just the United States Postal Service, so it's not like it's a big corporation or anything. Not like
Dude,
we all rely on it.
they're a lot more chaotic than I think everybody realizes.
I don't know, man. I think the USPS is pretty chaotic.
Yeah, you might be
it,
right. People aren't
it's
being aware of it.
it
I
is
just
a
didn't pay any attention to them at all until I got the
yeah.
job. So
No, like as someone who had to deal with the post office enough times, either for, I used to be a secondhand seller for some things, so I'd go there a lot and ship things out, or I was waiting for packages, getting a lot from Japan. I had to go to the post office and pick it up,
yeah,
and that is definitely a place that runs off like paper and shoestrings sometimes. Like things just barely work, but they
yeah.
work. Um, yeah, but I guess that's I don't know, unless you have something else to talk about Tears of the Kingdom. We talked about it a lot, and I feel like we're
I
gonna
bet you
keep
guys
talking
did.
about it.
Well, it's all
Um,
it's just we're still playing it is the thing.
yeah, that's the
Um,
thing, and I think that's so cool. Also, is that it's been out for 2 weeks now officially, and I think you got it like a day or two after it came out, but
yeah,
still,
I got
around.
it. It came out like Friday, right? And I think I
Yeah,
got it Monday. So
yeah, um,
and then I've done nothing but play it since that Monday. So
right. But it's really nice having a game that we're 2 weeks in, and I feel like I've barely scratched the surface. You
well,
know?
and what I'm happy that it's done, and a similar thing happened with Breath of the Wild and even Elden Ring, where it's like we all have like similar but different experiences with it. So it's
Definitely.
like, oh, did you happen upon this? Did you happen upon this? Oh, I went here and did this, and I don't know. I really like that when
No,
like
I do
a
too.
single player game can have that. Um,
It's kind of
I,
hard right now though, because we're trying to avoid spoilers, so
yeah,
we're just kind of waiting.
and God bless Jake. He tries his darndest. He really does. But you got to be explicit about if you want something or not from him,
Yeah,
because
there are some things where I'm like, I, a lot of the things that he's been saying and stuff, I personally don't care.
yeah, I
Like
don't
when he
really.
was sending out
I'm
like
to the point where like unless it's like a direct story spoiler, I'm
exactly,
fine with it. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Don't tell me that Ganondorf is actually Tetra. You know that
Yeah,
Tetra comes back, the world floods halfway through the game. It's Wind Waker.
yeah,
Don't tell me that. I want to find that for myself. Okay,
yeah.
that'd be cool.
Ganondorf was chic all along.
Could you imagine Breath of the Wild, but like Wind Waker style? You could like customize your boat and shit, and like the
Yeah,
land masses were much bigger.
that'd be amazing,
Do
actually.
it, Nintendo. You cowards. You're just making Ocarina of Time again and again. This is just Ocarina of Time again.
Yeah.
Give us what we want.
It makes me wonder if they're going to make a third one and have like an actual Zelda trilogy, which has never happened before, or
No, it's always been a duology.
at most, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I do know though that I don't know if we mentioned this on the last show, so I'll just say it again. But I know that Eiji Aonuma, who I think is the head of the Zelda department, he did say that going forward, this is the style of
Yeah,
the new Zelda games.
I always take those with a grain of salt though, because I've heard that so many times, and then 4
Yeah,
years later, oh, it's a soft reboot or whatever. So like,
yeah,
I'm sure that's like he probably feels that way right now because those between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, they're selling like fucking crazy.
yeah.
But
I mean, Breath of the Wild alone
we'll
sold
see.
more than I think all of the other Zelda games combined, and Tears of the Kingdom's probably going to sell more than Breath of the Wild, just from that good word of mouth and
Yeah, that
shit
word of
like that.
mouth is helping it out. I think
Sold 10 million in 3 days.
there's always a selection of people that are like hesitant, especially nowadays because everybody's more jaded. And
Yeah, which I get in this climate. I sent you that meme photo of
oh my god, I
all
know
the fucking on Twitter. The
all the
game
corporate
companies will post
responses for their
corporate
games being
apologies
asked.
like, "Hey, we've noticed that there's a lot of problems with our games that just released. We're sorry about that. We're gonna dedicate ourselves to getting those updates out and fixing it." It's like
there's
you knew
always
it was broken.
there's
You
always some
knew.
bullshit like it didn't meet our standards, so we're gonna make sure
Yeah,
to like
yeah.
keep it up or some. It didn't meet
Meanwhile,
the
the only
insert
patch I
company
know
standards.
the only patch I know for Zelda is that, hey, you guys found a fucking glitch that
Yeah,
duplicates shit.
fuck
Doesn't even
you.
break the game. It just honestly makes it kind of easier, and they patch that out. And they're like, no. But other than that, it is astonishing. Although I told Jake this last time. This game was done a year ago.
Yeah.
They finished Tears of the Kingdom a year ago, and when they delayed it a year to polish it. And I was like,
And
that takes balls.
And no, here's the thing: that polish has like paid off
Oh yeah,
because
for sure.
just the fact that I can like without loading screen, and at least from my perspective, not like really a frame dip or anything. There might be some, but it's like
Hmm.
I don't notice it that much. Going from the Sky Islands all the way to the depths, the fact that I can
Yeah.
just do that, you know what I
No,
mean?
it's
Like
amazing on the
that's what
Switch.
that's what good on the Switch. That's what good polish does to a game. A lot of
Yeah.
these games, we hear polish, and that means they're not finished with the fucking game. Like they use it. They know they legitimately
I mean, it's
polished it.
fundamentally broken. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's definitely still some like it's weird too. The frame rate dips were there at the beginning and they're getting kind of egregious and then they just kind of stopped. And
I've
I
only
haven't
noticed
had a
like a
problem
few.
like yeah. There was one time though going into the depths where my game did freeze for like half a second.
That happened to me one
You
time
could tell it was
too.
like it was loading or
That
something.
happened to me exiting the depths
Okay,
specifically,
yeah.
and the game froze. And for like a second, I'm like, "Is my game going to crash?" Oh my god!
Hmm.
And then it
Yeah.
resumed, which is the first time I've seen a game freeze and then not crash. So I mean, it still gets points for that. But you're right. I think it was a loading, but there's no like
Yeah.
there's no actual loading screen, so that's just what it
No,
did.
no. I think this is showing also like they always say like, "Oh, we push the hardware to the limit and stuff." I think Tears of the Kingdom is pushing the Switch to its fucking limit. Like this is about probably as good as it can get.
I don't understand how they did it. To be honest, it's just straight magic to me personally. Yeah, how they got it to work.
No, it's really good.
And it's like it not only puts other modern game, like it puts Switch games to get to shame for sure. Like I look at something like Rune Factory 5 and like you could have been so much better. You have no excuse. But even like these other normal modern, like fucking Gollum, and it's just like, what are you doing?
We'll talk a little bit about that later. Yeah, it is interesting because
Star Wars Jedi Survivor, although people don't remember, Fallen Order had a lot of problems that
broken.
Yeah, it had a lot of issues at launch too.
Yeah.
So
it is interesting though,
not new for them,
because Breath of the Wild coming out when it did, it kind of like gave the industry a pause, and everyone looked at me like, oh, they're doing an open world game, truly open world, where you can climb anything, you can go anywhere, you can go to the final boss right away.
Yeah.
And I think Breath of the Wild had that long burn effect where it didn't sell 30 million copies in a week or a month or even a year. It took it honestly just passed that 30 million mark. I think this month or last month, it was like at 29.8 or something.
Yeah.
So it had that long burn, which honestly, even 10 million units is astonishing.
Yeah, I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at.
But with Tears of the Kingdom selling 10 million in 3 days, I really think now, like, the only one I can think of just on top of my mind is Starfield. Starfield's going to come out. It's going to be an open world game, but it's probably, if I'm willing to bet, it's going to be in that same old design of you can't climb anything, you can't go anywhere. There's going to be places locked off.
I don't know.
Have that original.
They're kind of design in their own like little bubble where it's like a Bethesda game is such a Bethesda game that
it's true.
On one hand, we're not really expecting that. The problem is we are expecting kind of everybody's like scared of Starfield, myself included, because it's like we want it to be good, but we've been burned before, and the problems have only gotten worse and worse. Where like they're kind of their own. Like they have this Bethesda charm to them, but they're kind of their own worst enemies, and like they got to overcome themselves first before I even care about like them innovating to the level that like Breath of the Wild has done.
True.
The problem is all the Ubisoft open world games. I mean, if Breath of the Wild and Elden Ring didn't kill it, I don't know how they're even going to survive this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
because wasn't Elden Ring? It's still on my backlog. You know. But wasn't Elden Ring kind of similar to the open structure of Breath of the Wild, where it was
a lot of ways, yeah,
because that's what I heard people saying was like Elden Ring.
The reason I kept comparing it to Breath of the Wild is because I got the same feeling I did playing Breath of the Wild, where it's like it's this open world, you can do whatever you want. It's a lot more combat focused. Obviously, it's a FromSoft game, but like. You can just go anywhere and do anything. And it doesn't have the same level of interaction as like Breath of the Wild, but it was so open-ended that it gave me that same kind of like core feeling.
And I think that's what a lot of people, at least when it comes to open world games, because I've had a gripe with the game industry since 2011. I think.
Lot of games that are open world don't need to be.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So many games were going open world just because that was the thing to do. Go open world. Put it on the back of the box as a tag, open world. But then it's like what you're doing is going from point A to point B, and there's just a whole bunch of nothing in between.
Yeah.
And then even then there's still like invisible walls or some stupid arbitrary shit for you to not be able to go through. And that's just kind of been the game design for games for the last 10 years. It's been really fucking annoying. And it's really stupid too when you read online about people being like, this game is an open world, it's crap. It's like, yeah, you're stupid. You're dumb.
Yeah. I know. I can't stand that. And then one of my pet peeves is having buildings you can't go into.
Oh my gosh, that too. And that's what I'm hoping, because in Tears of the Kingdom you can.
You know what?
Every building.
Yeah, and granted, they don't have as much buildings as other games, but they have more than Breath of the Wild. Like there is actually a lot more. That's one of the things I'll give credit to Hogwarts Legacy about. It really felt like if there was a door, you could go through it in that game. I think there's like a couple of buildings in Hogsmeade you couldn't technically go through, but like Hogwarts itself, like that game is like kind of standard open world, but the actual Hogwarts castle was so well done.
Definitely. Yeah.
Like I think
you
that
could go to every door there, unless there's a stupid fucking puzzle that you didn't know how to solve. That got me a couple times. But yeah, I'm hoping that. And we are even seeing online too that developers are taking note. They're looking at this and be like, "Holy shit!" Like, I think Breath of the Wild was a proof of concept. It really was that this is a beta, and it's kind of like what I had always said about it too, where it was like, this feels like the concept of an idea, but they forgot to make it a Zelda game. Just
Mm-hmm.
from the little bit, 50 hours that I played of Tears of
Honestly,
the Kingdom, it feels like a Zelda game now.
oh yeah, and I think some of the games that we all really like are the ones kind of like I think of Ghost of Tsushima, where it's like it's the same core philosophy of you see something in distance, you're curious about what it is, and you just go and figure out what it is. I think
Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima is like a lot more structured, especially narratively, than Breath of the Wild, which is fine. But like
Hmm.
that's like a very successful game that I can think of off the top of my head that like took away from
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
types of
Definitely.
games. And I think you're right. I think they're only and honestly they should. Fuck, it's a good fucking they've
It
got it
is.
down. Like
The only problem is that it's just gonna add on to development time. Games already take so fucking long to develop, and now we're like basically saying, "Hey, if you're gonna do open world, do it right." It's like, well, there's 2 more years to make every
yeah,
door openable.
or just have the whole team work on a game so they keep splitting them up into these
That's
three
true
other
too.
games.
Yeah, every single company is making 3 different games at once,
Hmm.
so don't do that. But I think the next game to kind of close us out, that we're gonna see that's gonna have this type of potential to influence the industry, like I think Tears of the Kingdom is going to, is probably going to be Grand Theft Auto 6. Like
Maybe.
we're like seeing what they do with that, because I think GTA 5 is very limiting, but it's also a fucking Xbox 360 game and a
See,
PlayStation 3 game.
to me, those games, I don't even view them as open world. I view them as sandboxes. Like those are kind of
Yeah,
separated in my head. And I guess Zelda kind of is too. I guess they're kind of blurring the lines now, but
definitely. Yeah,
yeah, it's just like this huge fucking play box. I think you're right though. I think GTA 6 whatever decade that comes out, that would probably
10 more years.
yeah, pretty
10 more years.
influential.
It's already been what, 12, 11? Yeah, we're
It's
halfway
a
there.
lot.
All right.
Have they
Moving
even
on
like
though.
officially announced that, or have they just like only announced it?
No,
And
they
like,
did. They did officially announce GTA 6 is being worked on
yeah, that's
and
it
that
though,
it's
right?
real.
Like
That's it. Yeah, nothing
that's all
else.
we know. Is like, yeah,
I
we are
think
making
we
GTA 6.
know it takes place in Miami,
Yeah,
but that's all. So, all right. Other games, just quickly. I've been playing. I playing Mortal Kombat 11 on my Steam Deck. Roger does not agree with that, but I don't care because the achievements are easy. It's
I
doing
get.
like
I
two
gave you so much
fatalities per
shade
character.
for it because of all the games to stop playing Zelda. You were playing Mortal Kombat 11.
Well,
Look, I'm a bit of a I could not get into Mortal Kombat 11 because I enjoyed X so much, and I
yeah.
never transitioned very well over to 11. So
Well,
that's
that's fair.
that's me.
This is honestly the first time I'm really like diving into a Mortal Kombat game. I've always played them tangentially, like
Hmm.
just a little bit here and there. I'll play with friends and things, but and I tried to get into Mortal Kombat, the 2000, what was that, 11 reboot or 13?
Yeah, something like
9, Mortal
that.
Kombat 9, whichever one
Yeah.
that was, where it's just out of Mortal Kombat. I played that one a bit because it was on Vita. So I was like, oh, I'll play it on here. But it was honestly like always my least favorite fighting game. Like I always liked Tekken
Mortal
more. I like
Kombat.
Soul Calibur
Really?
more. Dead or Alive, even I liked it more. There's just something about Mortal Kombat. I was like, it just felt weird to play because those other games are much more fast and fluid, and Mortal Kombat's
Yeah.
more kind of technical.
Yeah. That's why
But
I've always been more Mortal Kombat. You know what
yeah,
I can't get into are the Soul Calibur games where it's a 3D arena. That always throws me for
yeah,
a
3D
loop.
arena ones like
I have a hard time with those.
isn't that Virtua Fighter 2? Aren't those 3D as well? Pretty sure.
Maybe.
Um,
Is
but yeah,
Tekken 3D or is that still 2D?
yeah, Tekken's 3D,
That's what I
or you
thought.
can move up and down. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I'm enjoying it. Playing as Cassie Cage. She's kind of my main right now. It's
That's a
cool,
good
I
main,
guess.
to be honest with you.
Um,
That's a pretty good main.
but I'm yeah, I'll see about 100%ing it. I'm getting into
I guess
Steam
I guess
achievements a
since
lot.
you're
So
talking Mortal Kombat, what do you think of Mortal Kombat 1? Was that in the PlayStation thing or is that separate?
no, it wasn't. It was just announced before. Yeah. So that, I mean, that's kind of the reason why I was like, I kind of want to play Mortal Kombat now, because I try to make it a thing, which granted, in this day and age, now only one come out a generation. But before, when like 3 or 4 came out, I always just try to get like, okay, I'm gonna get one Mortal Kombat game for this console, one Street Fighter game. Now there's just one that comes out, whatever. But I am going to get Mortal Kombat 1. I was like, I might as well brush up a little, play some of it.
I think they're rare enough to where like you can do that. They're still not like super common. Although we're getting like Mortal Kombat and Tekken at the same time, aren't we?
And Street Fighter.
Like,
Street Fighter comes out.
Those are like the big three.
Street Fighter comes out in a week, I think, next Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mortal Kombat's in August. And Tekken just says this year, but it'll probably be like October.
That's what I meant. I guess that they're all this year. That's kind of insane.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Big year for fighting games.
Fighting game fans are eating nice this year.
Hell yeah. Other than that, though, I think it is time to move on to the gaming riddle. That was the theme. That little tap. There it is. All right.
I thought it was the sigh. Just the.
It's honestly, I said this last time, but we have this little soundboard now, and I was thinking, for the gaming riddle, I could come up with a little tune. I have a soundboard. You don't. Only the host does. I see your confused face.
No, I'm reading the riddle, and I'm just thinking to myself, Jake.
Oh, okay.
You would already have this locked and loaded. I already know it.
But I'm not. I like us improving the riddle because it's better that way. The riddle goes as follows: Gangsters are good, police are bad. Beating up the one-eyed man makes him sad. This slice of Japan has entered the West. His name is, well, you know the rest. Roger, you get 5 questions because I can see you screaming in your eyes.
You got some hints in there. The only thing I can think of is the Yakuza. And that's like the only like gangster Japanese title series that I know of.
Yeah. Is that your answer?
Yeah, is it Yakuza?
It is. Good job.
All right.
I did it. Yeah, Yakuza. I'll give it to you. I could have been like, which Yakuza? Talking about Yakuza 1.
Okay,
Kiwami.
I was to say I would start with 1 and then go to Like a Dragon, and then I would just go up the numbered list from there because those are like the main ones I know.
Everything in this list, it's just saying gangsters are good, police are bad, which they don't even really fight the police, honestly. But, Yakuza, they don't like the police. Slice of Japan has entered the West. They're all localized now. But the big thing was beating up the one-eyed man makes him sad. You fight Majima a shit ton in Yakuza 1.
I didn't even...
Like, they had this one... it was specifically in the remake too, where they added that.
Nothing about Yakuza other than the only thing I know is Like a Dragon is turn based. Like that's all.
That's true. That is a true statement. They're really good. I'm sure someone's already probably recommended them to you.
Somebody that I know that I could be talking to has definitely.
Oh, probably, yeah. But other people too, I'm sure.
No, it's mostly you.
Okay.
I don't think I heard of them until I met you.
Yakuza 1, one of the only games that Susan's ever beaten in her life.
That blows my mind. She
liked it. She liked it a lot. They're short too. Well,
are they?
Yakuza 0 is like 50 hours. Maybe skip that one. But Yakuza 1's like 15 hours long. It's pretty short.
I thought they were like 50, 60-hour games.
No. I think 1, 2, and 3 are all around that 15, 20-hour mark. 4 is 40 hours. And 5 is 50 hours. Because in those games, they split it up. Ironically, in 4, there's 4 protagonists. And 5, there's 5 protagonists. So they're telling each of their stories, and then they come together. And then in 0, they split it up again between 2 protagonists. So 0 is really 2 different games. It's all Yakuza, but you have like his one side and then the other side, and then at the very end they converge. But you're basically playing 2 different games.
Reminds me of what Devil May Cry did.
Yeah. But I recommend them. They're on everything now except Switch.
Have you played May Cry, Andrew? That's when you should play.
It's on the list. It's on the list. I'll get there eventually. Yeah. I played a little bit of 2.
How do you always choose the worst one? Jesus
I wanted to check it out. I was like, everyone says this game's bad. It wasn't good. I played it for like an hour. It's like,
it's the worst one by like a landslide. You can't even shoot things properly because you auto lock on to the wrong things.
Yeah.
You can't even like hit switches and stuff.
No, I know, it's terrible.
Oh my god!
I did play a little bit of 5 though. I liked it for what it was.
Next thing you're gonna tell
I'm
me is
talking like
Dark
a
Souls 2
very.
is the only FromSoft game you fucking played.
That was the one I started with. Was Dark Souls
You're
2.
such a
Again,
piece of
because
shit.
people were like, this game's bad. I was like, okay, let's see.
Oh my god!
I've played other FromSoft games, so I think I've played all of them. Haven't beat any of them, but I've dabbled in.
Andrew, I don't mean to call you out like this, but is there many games that you have beaten?
Oh yeah, there's plenty.
I cannot remember the last time you've beaten a game.
I actually beat a game today. I beat Theatrhythm Final Barline, that
You did
Final
beat
Fantasy
that.
rhythm game.
Oh.
I beat it to where I rolled credits.
I take it back. You have beaten a lot of rhythm games that I know about. Outside of that specific genre.
I beat Fire Emblem Engage this year.
This year? Good.
Yeah.
I've yet to play it. That's on my list.
Well, there you go. Boom.
All right. You put me in my place.
No, I mean, beating games is something that I'm working on it because I obviously have a lot of games, and I am definitely that type of person who plays a lot of games, but it's really got to hook me, because there's just so much. I'm at a buffet.
Well, the problem is new shit keeps coming out. Like I only made it halfway through Octopath Traveler, and that still bothered me. But
right.
Like I think Resident Evil 4 came out, and then Zelda came out, and by the time I'm done with Zelda, Final Fantasy 16 is gonna be out. And
Right. Yeah, I haven't even beat Final Fantasy or Resident Evil 4 yet.
Plus, Octopath Traveler, I'm tempted to like just replay through it on like the Steam Deck or something, because I started playing on Xbox, and that'd be a lot
weird.
It'd be better to play on a handheld like the Switch or the Steam Deck.
Yeah, our JRPGs just I think inherently are better for that pick up
They
put down.
Yeah, and there's always like some grinding you always have to do, and that's just better on the handheld.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I've beaten games. So
you say so.
Don't you?
I haven't personally seen you.
You know what? I will beat how.
I remember going through your trophy list and seeing that you had fucking beaten every single Persona Rhythm game, and then there was like for every Persona Rhythm game, there's like 40 of 5% trophy lists on them. So
Devil May Cry 1, according to this, is 6 hours long.
Yeah, it's a short game.
By the time we come back, I will have beaten it.
Okay.
I'm putting that down right now.
All right.
I will beat it. It's going to be on Steam. Hopefully the Steam version's fine. But
are you doing the HD collection or?
I think yeah.
Yeah, it should be fine.
Whatever I have on Steam, but I'll do that. I'll put that down right now as proof. And then when we come back and I said I installed it but never really beat it, then you win. So
I'll take a free win.
I think I changed your score. 26 Jake, 18 Roger, 14 Andrew. He's pulling away from me. Our next segment met on my mind. We already did this week, but there is a new game that came out that has a historically low Metacritic score. So I figured we should at least mention it. That Gollum game, Lord of the Rings, came out.
I haven't heard a single positive thing about
36, and that's out of 38 reviews.
I think IGN gave it a 4, dude. Like,
this is one of those.
It's not good.
This is one of the special moments.
It's like a dumb premise to begin with. Like,
I was never into it to begin with, ever.
I was like morbidly curious. Like, I think this is a dumb concept, but like, I was like, how are they going to make this work? Like, that's, you know what I mean? Like, how are they going to do this? The answer is they didn't.
You don't. That's how you do it. No, it's really interesting though, because the developer that made it's not crossing my mind right now, but they're a German-based developer, and they've I think exclusively made point-to-click games before this. That's it. So them jumping from that to this is massive leap, and it's Lord of the Rings, and it was one of those like first like PS5 shown games.
Yeah, it was like a hugely marketed game.
Yeah,
because they showed off Gollum at I can't even remember when they showed off, but I remember
I think it was like the initial release, the initial announcement of the PS5. They're like, oh, here's games too. Here's Gollum.
I think they wanted another Shadow Mordor because when they revealed that, it was huge. But
apparently, these guys are working on a second Lord of the Rings game as well. So
just maybe make it a point and click game.
Maybe
don't have Gollum as your protagonist.
You switch out Gollum with Frodo in this game, it goes up 10 points. I'm just gonna say
you switch out Gollum with any character. the Lord of the
The
Rings
fucking
series.
bird that they ride at the end.
Yeah, I'll play as the
Play as
fucking
that.
hawk. Yeah, like I'll play as the eagles fighting the dragons. That sounds fucking dope.
There are some interesting things. It's hard to say that with a 36
Gollum
minute critic,
is an
but
interesting character, but from like a video game perspective, it
yeah,
sounds like the worst way you could go about it.
the only thing I've heard that is kind of interesting is that there are some like conversation options in the game, and you can respond as either Gollum or Smeagol. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that's kind of like really all you can get out of this, but that is kind of cool, I guess, that you can kind of do that split personality. How are you going to respond to this? But that's about it. And those conversations don't even have any consequence.
It's
It is a worthless game.
One, it's also like Tolkien fans are just going to see it as like pure fan fiction,
Yeah.
and video game fans aren't going to really care.
No,
Apparently, there's like no gameplay loop from what I understand. Yeah, I'm not
oh no.
surprised by this, but I guess it is kind of sad because I thought
I mean,
I
it is
honestly
what
think
it
a
is.
lot of Lord of the Ring games are pretty decent.
No, I think so too.
I think that's one franchise license that they do a fairly okay job with compared to other
Obviously
stuff.
those Shadow Mortar and
Dude, those games are good, especially that
Shadow
first
War.
one. That
Mm-hmm.
I like Shadow War, but I have like my things with it. But that first one, Shadow Mordor, dude, I think that's just a great game, just
Yeah, no,
all the way
totally.
around.
And then like I thought War in the North was fine.
Dude, I like
isn't that
that
more
was
based off the books though, not the movies?
that is based off of like an appendix from the book where it's like, yeah, there's
Yeah,
also this little skirmish in the north. And they're like, we'll make a game out of that.
yeah,
I like that because it was like it gave me that Baldur's Gate feeling where it was co-op, so split screen couch co-op, so automatic like
big
70%
dub for me.
minimum. Yeah, for me, like that bumps you straight up to 7 out of 10, no requirements. Like
Yeah,
just having that feature. And it just kind of reminded me of like Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, just like running through it with a friend and leveling up.
yeah.
So
No, I
the
have it
story
in.
was whatever. Dude, play it with somebody. I'm telling you, it makes the experiment so much better.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. And then obviously those EA Two Towers and then Return of the King games are fantastic. And then
Wonder,
we've talked about the Hobbit and shit, and
you
I
ever
don't want
played
to talk
Lord
about
of the
the Hobbit
Rings
again.
Conquest?
Um,
Battlefront, but Lord of the Rings, basically.
no,
Dude,
I
that
do
game
have
is
though.
good.
I do have. Oh, what is this game? Another. This is another game that I have that, of course, I haven't fucking played, but I've installed.
Wild.
It's not Conquest. I don't think. You said Lord of the Rings Conquest is
Yeah, that's one of
Battlefront.
the.
I've never heard of this game.
Oh, dude, that game is so good. That was like one of the first games I've played on the 360.
Is this it? Battle for Middle Earth. I think that's what it is.
Oh, isn't that like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
MMO or something?
No,
Or
no,
like,
no.
what is that? I've heard of that.
Is this the right one? Is Battle for Middle Earth? Why is it $300 at Amazon?
Oh yeah, this is the RTS Lord of the Rings game.
Yeah, I have the RTS one because it looked really good, and of course I haven't fucking played it, but I have it. This game looks awesome. Battle for Middle Earth. I hope this is the one I have. I don't think it is.
Conquest.
It doesn't matter.
Conquest was the one that I had that I got really into, and
Yeah,
the servers don't exist for it anymore. But it was a great game.
Do I have any single player?
Yeah, it does. It has
Nice.
a whole single player that you go through that just follow the events of the book, and then it has once you beat it, it has like an alternative story where you play as the bad guys and you go through and basically kill all of the different factions.
Games Radar gave it a 2 out of 10.
What?
It's a 55 on Metacritic.
Oh no!
When there's a game from your childhood and you're like, this is really good, and you go back, it's like everyone hated it.
I loved this game. Are you serious?
Yeah, it's I don't make the rules. I just read them and take them at face value. So we're really getting to the weeds on this, though. Let's move on.
Yeah, you just broke
Lord of the Rings is good though. Read the books, watch the movies, play the games. Really nothing wrong with it. Even the Amazon show is good. Fuck you. Okay. We're going to move on to our top 100 ranking. We're going to go for the 2021 year. And I was talking to Roger about this. Obviously, we're just starting this list. It is still in its infant age. And I'm changing the rules already. That whole has to be minimum 3 games per year, scrapping it. Because I realize there's going to be some years that might have more than 3 games that are good. Thinking 2007, 2009.
Yeah, there's going to be some peak years.
And then there's going to be some years, kind of like the one we're talking about, which is kind of absolute dog water. And we might not have any games from there. But we're still going to look at them.
We should at least like do one.
Yeah, we should have
No
at least one.
matter what.
And you can make arguments, and I'll try to make an argument for Jake because I already see one where he's going to be like, no. So I'm like, fine.
I'm talking about Dread.
Yep. So, notable releases for 2021. These aren't necessarily top 100 games all time, but these are big ones. Halo Infinite, Deathloop, It Takes Two, Resident Evil Village, Metroid Dread, Forza Horizon 5, Returnal, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, Monster Hunter Rise, Hitman 3, Guardians of the Galaxy, Mass Effect Legendary Edition, The Forgotten City, Back for Blood, Tales of Arise.
How do we handle remakes?
So I was going to say, and this is going to have to be something that we talk about later, but if I had to, like, I would put Legendary Edition on this list. Instead of putting Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, it is the definitive way to play it.
Like the definitive way to play it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's missing that one DLC from Mass Effect 1, but that was just a shooting gallery.
If we're saying that's the definitive, I think Mass Effect, that trilogy, does deserve a place on like the top 100. So
I agree.
Like
those are some of the best games of all time.
Yeah. So
without a doubt.
I think Mass Effect 2 is the best of them, but I think they're all three, like, they work with each other. And Mass Effect 2
so funny?
have been as good without the other ones.
Oh, totally. You know what's so funny? What? I was actually playing the Mass Effect trilogy on my Steam Deck the other day. And when I'm talking about what I've been playing, I play so much, I just kind of talk about what I've been mainly playing. But I was playing the Mass Effect trilogy, and I was playing Mass Effect 1. And I had this thought of, like, I think Mass Effect 1 is my favorite. Really? I think it's my favorite of the 3, which is weird. I like 3, believe it or not.
I love 3.
And obviously 2 is amazing for everything that it does.
I'm glad you like 3 as much as I do, because I feel like I'm always playing defense for that game.
Right? Me too. Everyone's like, oh, the ending. I'm like, the ending's fine. The whole it's not even about you're disregarding like hours and hours of a whole fucking game because
I know.
Pick 3, and it's like that game is amazing. It resolves so much.
Yeah.
Like every single individual plot line got resolved in that game. It's so fucking good. But I there's something about Mass Effect 1 where it just has that old BioWare feel still, you know?
Yeah, that mid 2000s BioWare feel, that it's some good shit.
And then like the music's good. Even like the kind of like slightly corny line delivery and like the stiff animation. There's something about it that's so charming, and I'm just like, I kind of love this so much.
Okay,
But Mass Effect trilogy, I think, should be on there.
I agree.
Should we put Dread?
Because Jacob's gonna want it. Let's go ahead and put Dread.
We'll put it on there, but we can definitely beat him this later.
The Metacritic score for Lord of the Rings Conquest is 7.1 for the user score. So those fucking critics don't know what they're talking about.
Critics don't know what they're talking about.
I'm still hung up on that. Here's the thing about Dread.
Because it's probably game of the year.
I haven't beaten Dread, but I have played it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like it's got good controls. It's got good like response and controls and stuff. So I think for that type of game, I can understand if you'd really like it. Not Halo Infinite, not Far Cry 6.
My hang up about Dread is that I am I've played a couple. I've played Dread a little bit because I haven't even bought the fucking game.
We probably played the same amount, I imagine.
And I've played a little bit of Metroid 2. And then I've played some Prime. But that's it. Like, Metroid's just never been a series that has called out to me, and I've tried it many times. Just like, I feel like there's just better games. You know, I'd rather play Castlevania than Metroid. Sorry.
My problem right now is if I'm going to play that type of game, Hollow Knight is the one I feel like I should.
Or Hollow Knight or something. Dead Cells, you know?
Yeah, over.
Like, there's just better games now than Metroid. But I don't even know Metroid Dread's the best Metroid. I'm just gonna put it on there though, and we can talk about it later.
I imagine if we're talking about best Metroid, I would think like Super Metroid would be like up there,
right? And we'll get there in 30 episodes, 40 episodes, whenever it came out.
The same thing with like Resident Evil Village. Like I really enjoyed Village.
Some Resident best though.
I don't know if it's one of the best though, and I
I
know
don't think
like
it is either.
amongst the Resident Evil community, people are like they're like lukewarm towards it. Like yeah,
Yeah.
it's good, but it's not like one of the best ones.
The beginning of Village and in the castle was really good, and then that puppet house was fucking fantastic.
I like the Puppet House a lot. I actually really like that game. I like how there's like
Yeah.
a lot of different like atmospheres to it. Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't dislike it as much as other people do. But I do know that Resident Evil 4 remakes already like people are like, "Oh, this is the best Resident Evil game" because it's just a better Resident Evil 4.
Yeah. Um. So there's only 2 that I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, let me.
I'm not even going to talk about Deathloop. Fuck Deathloop. I think Deathloop is overrated. It Takes Two, which
You probably
my
throw that on
only
there.
my only argument would be how we're talking about best games. If we were talking about like best co-op games, I definitely think It Takes Two has a place on the list because
Mhm.
it kind of, I beat that game with Susan. It took us forever, but we beat it, and there is something really good about. And this might have been situational too, because it was with my at the time girlfriend, then fiance. We were playing and things like that, and we were kind of getting into that like we're gonna start like this really serious relationship, and this is about a relationship breaking apart and then them kind of rebuilding it together.
Kinda
And
just
the whole game's
hit
message is
home.
about kind of like communication and things like that. And like you need to work. It takes two. That's the whole point of the fucking game.
Yep.
And that's how we had to play too. We had to communicate with each other. We had to be like, none of us can just like take the initiative. We have to like,
Mhm.
hey, so it's kind of like that
I
art
no,
imitates life
it's
type thing.
it's a game of communication. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
To
But I
me,
thought it was pretty cool the way that it
and,
did that.
and I totally get that. For me, I played it with a friend, and we got like, I mean, we played through it, but it was just more of like, what set piece are we currently at for the moment, where we need to figure out the
Yeah.
puzzle, and I couldn't really get over that. So
No, that's fair.
I
Yeah.
understand why you would. Like that's what I say. If you want to put it on here, that's fine. I won't
Yeah.
necessarily have an issue with it.
And then Forza Horizon 5. I went up to bat for Gran Turismo 7 because I think that is like the best racing game that's ever come out.
Is for
Personally,
is Forza Horizon 5 even the best Forza game?
I don't know. That's the only one I've played. It's good. I liked it. I
I
like the
guess
intro especially, but
I guess the one that I played was 4, and that's the one that I guess
I don't know.
they're not all that much different. Um
You're the Forza guy, if anyone, I guess. So,
I
like, is
say
sport better?
it's kind of different.
Because I always thought Horizon was like, oh, you play Forza, get Forza Horizon.
Yeah,
Like, that's the good one.
it's because Forza Horizon kind of have it all, and sport, from what I understand, it's just mostly about the racing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we could put it on here if you want to. I personally, I don't know. I don't think we need to. I think if you got Gran
No.
Turismo 7 on here,
Okay.
I would
We'll just
say
leave it at that then.
I would I would say if we put it on here, we don't need to put any of the others on here.
Yeah.
Right? And here, let me look at the reviews for Forza Horizon 5 real fast.
Okay. Yeah, because so do you agree with Gran Turismo 7? Because Jake was
Yes.
kind of hung up on that.
No,
And I'm
I
like,
100% agree
yeah.
with Gran Turismo 7.
I
I
was
think Gran
like,
Turismo needs a place on here, and if it's not the first one, then it needs to be 7, because 7
yeah,
really was like insane.
dude, 7 got me into it for a while. I don't like
Yeah.
racing games that much,
Well,
but like
and then
I played 7.
doesn't 7 have like the VR mode and stuff for it too?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, 7 like 7 I'm fine with. And I'm so fine with it that that's where I'm like Forza Horizon 5, I'm like, do we even need this?
Yeah, we already have.
It's got pretty good reviews, dude. It's like 90 plus on everything.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. I'll put it on there, and
Yeah,
we can
put it
just
on
like,
there. The graphics are really good too.
yeah. Which I think with racing games,
I think that's another
half the
selling
thing is
point.
graphics.
Well, in this series specifically, it's like they're pretty looking games.
Okay. All right. So for 2021, we have the Mass Effect trilogy, which is a remake. Metroid Dread, which is a sequel. Forza Horizon 5, which is a sequel, and then It Takes Two, the only original IP of that year. So, good year 2021. Midst of COVID.
I just don't feel comfortable putting anything else.
No, I don't either.
I barely feel comfortable putting Metroid Dread and I'm honestly all 4 of those games. I'm like I could take them or leave them.
I could see when we go through like the decade, which since there is no decade for this already, we're gonna do 2022 to 2010 together. I could see all those games except Mass Effect getting off the list.
Yeah, and Mass Effect, it's like I feel weird about it because it's like that's not 2021's year, but that is, like you said, the best, especially like currently, the best way to play those games. So,
and I do think, like you were saying before, Mass Effect 2 is only as good as it is because of Mass Effect 1.
Yeah.
So you kind
Oh,
of need
that's the
all
thing.
of them to play.
You do. They build off of each other, and they so seamlessly go, and how you transfer your saves and decisions. Like a lot of the decision making in those games, they take fruit in other games. You'll make
Totally.
decisions in Mass Effect 1 and 2 that will be fully real, or 1 that will be realized in 2, and you'll make decisions in 2 and some in 1 that will be fully realized in 3. And that's what makes experience so fucking unique. So
yeah, absolutely. There's characters that you can let die or kill in Mass Effect 1, and then they're just out of the fucking games.
Yeah.
Like they could be in 2 and 3, and they have whole scripted scenes and events with them, but they're just gone because they died.
I had a whole fucking like separate story arc with a character that died in 2, and the way it went about, it created like an entire extra like side thing in 3.
Yeah. Yep.
Like,
and that's what's so cool about it.
Yeah, it's great.
And that's why if you're out there,
it also had like to this day like one of the hardest moral like decisions I had to make in a video game. So it's like,
which one was that?
It's the one where you're choosing between the synthetic race and Talia's race. And
with the Geth and then Talia.
Mm-hmm.
That dude, because when they whatever his name is in 2, the Geth that you get, he changes your whole perspective. You're like, hey, these Geth aren't that bad.
Yeah,
they're not that bad.
It's like I can't remember how old I was when
I think I went with the Geth, honestly.
I think I did. But I liked Talia so fucking much as well.
So I like Talia, but I'm pretty sure it was like that thing of like Talia's race. They were on the losing side, but that was after like they were being this oppressive, like trying to destroy all of them thing. So they're kind of the bad guys.
It was also they kind of were, and it was also kind of like a creators versus the created sort of situation.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so I think I want to say I was like maybe 13 when I first played that, maybe younger, and that just split my head in half. Like I couldn't even take it.
No, I was definitely like, I think it came out in 2012, so I was 15.
So like, if we're doing a top 100 ranking, Mass Effect has to be on here, and so that's why it's like that is the definitive way to play it.
Oh, yeah,
no.
Definitely.
That's spicy.
And if you're out there and you've never played Mass Effect because you've heard, oh, Mass Effect 3 is ending bad, or
no, it's good.
Whoever told you that, tell them to fuck off and go play them right now.
Also, if you are that worried about it, like when it launched, it launched as the ending, and they added like a 2 gigabyte update of cutscenes, kind of like going into more detail, and that's in the Legendary Edition. So
all right, moving on. Fun question of the week, part 2. What's your favorite event related to gaming? So we just had this PlayStation showcase,
Palpatine,
and as you know, we used to have a lot of gaming events, PAX, E3. We have Nintendo Directs. Hey, so many, honestly. So what's your favorite one?
What's your favorite one?
E3. I miss E3. I want E3 to come back. I was actually watching old E3 videos from 2014 yesterday because I was like, God, I just love this.
I think I'm in the same boat as you are. I like having this one big event to look forward to, and just so much shit would come out of that week.
Yeah. I'm looking at Summer Games Fest, and it just makes me nauseated.
Well,
it's
so
long, it's so big, it's so messy.
Nowadays, I just feel like, a game or an event happened today. That I'm like, okay, here's all the different trailers from it. Like, I don't even know about it, or if I do, I know about it like a week before it happens, and it's just, I don't know.
I also really enjoyed at E3, and I honestly believe it's going to come back too. When it got canceled this year, and I was like, E3's dead, E3's dead. I might have even said this on the podcast, but these things take a year to plan at least. Mm-hmm. The thing was, whenever E3 would end, they were already working. So I say I'm talking Microsoft, PlayStation, Xbox, same thing, Microsoft, Nintendo, I mean, Ubisoft, all of them. They're working on next year's event. They know what they're going to show already, and they're starting the show then. Like, because so much goes into this. You have to contact all your developers. You have to get who's going to perform, who's going to present. You got to start making trailers and things like that. You got to know what games are going to be ready. This takes a long time. COVID, we still didn't really know if it was quote unquote over. I still don't even know if it's over. I think it's over. Everyone's acting like it's over, so I'm assuming this is over. But even then, it's still ambiguous now. 3-4 months ago, it was even more ambiguous. And these companies, a year ago, we're definitely not planning for E3 this year because we just didn't know.
From what I understand, basically, like if you get COVID, you kind of like get a free, like not free, obviously, because you got fucking COVID, but like you get time off from work and they can't do shit about it.
Yeah.
But that's like it. And
Yeah.
in terms of like taking precautions, they're like, hey, who fucking cares?
Yeah, exactly. Go get the vaccine if you want, or whatever. So that's kind of like my, and maybe this is just desperation too. My last cling of hope is like, well, they weren't planning for E3, so they're not going to be at E3. And you already have, maybe, yeah, Sony made this digital show, Xbox made a digital show. Why do that at E3 and still have to pay for a booth and, you know, still have to figure out who's going to be there? You got to change all your meetings and all your like get-togethers and things like that because now we got to have people at E3 instead.
It's a big
We'll
event.
just do the digital event, plan it for next year.
We'd also get like, especially nowadays with how the atmosphere is online, you get content creators doing stuff. I hate using that phrase, but you know, you get YouTubers or whatever.
Yeah.
Doing stuff as well, and that would add to the overall like just vibe.
Mm-hmm. No, and they've had a lot of YouTubers and things presenting, but even with them, it's like you got to give people notice. You got to give them time. You can't just be like, "Hey, be in LA in a month."
Yeah, you got me so worked up. I opened a second window by accident.
we're getting heated in here, but yeah, E3 is definitely my favorite, and I hope it comes back because I hate all these little shows. I hate them.
I do too.
I am so sick of them, and I think there's something also to like, you know, they would have a presentation. Nintendo did it really well where they had the treehouse. So you had your direct, and then they cut back to live E3, and you had the treehouse where it's like, okay, you just saw Splatoon. What the fuck is Splatoon? You saw the trailer. We're gonna play Splatoon for you now, and here's the lead developer, and we're gonna talk about Splatoon. You know, you got so much more in depth with so many more games because that's what the whole event was about.
Yeah,
now.
To like kind of like lead into the PlayStation event a little bit. That's kind of like one of my issues I had with it. It was like there wasn't a whole lot of gameplay stuff. It was a lot of cinematics.
Let's just lead into that. So it happened. After a year and a half, PlayStation finally had an official showcase, and results were mixed at best. While we did hear from Haven and Firesprite in the forms of CG trailers, as you said, no gameplay, Arrowhead Studios' Helldivers 2 and Insomniac's Spider-Man 2 were the only other PlayStation studios we heard from. Spider-Man 2 having gameplay, only gameplay, and then Helldivers having a mix of gameplay and cinematics.
And even the gameplay was kind of like, it was like kind of, I don't know, it was like,
we know it's a third person over the shoulder shooter. Yeah, that's about it. The rest of the show was filled with either smaller indie titles or games that are coming to Xbox, PC, or Nintendo as well. So there's big announcements like Metal Gear, for instance, coming to Xbox. Following this, we will go through every announcement one by one. But before that, Roger, as you were saying, what is your reaction to this event? How do you feel about it?
Okay. That's it. I don't feel very strongly towards it. There's some neat things about it, or some neat games, I guess, but for the most part, I was like, okay.
Yeah. I wish I could be that nonchalant about it. It opened up and I saw Haven right away. It's like, okay, they're fucking doing it. We're seeing PlayStation Studios. We're gonna see what these guys are doing. And then it went to Helldivers 2. I'm like, all right, let's keep going. And then it did Immortals of Avium.
Yeah.
Which I was like, this isn't PlayStation, but I get it. You got to have your third parties here. And then it did Ghost Runner 2. And I went, oh no. Oh no. And then I shit you not, the rest of the show, until basically the end, I was getting more and more mad. Let's just go through them. And I'm not mad, by the way, necessarily because of the games. I was mad because this was advertised as the PlayStation event you've been waiting for. This isn't a state of play. This is a PlayStation showcase. We're going to showcase PlayStation. What that means is we're going to show you CG trailers of our 2 new purchase studios, and then a game you already know about, and another game you know about, and that's it.
That's it. Hey, we got another announcement of Dragon's Dogma 2.
Yeah, that's true. And there were some exciting things. There were. So Fair Games, which is Haven's new game. CG trailer was shown. That game's still probably a couple years off because Haven was just conceptualized 2 years ago. But that's Jade Raymond's studio, the old Ubisoft person. She worked on Watch Dogs and I think Assassin's Creed 2, not 2, but as well. And then she was over at Stadia for a while before that imploded and exploded. But this game, what are your thoughts on it? This is a new Sony first party game, and when I saw it, I was like, oh, they did Payday, but it kind of looks like Fortnite.
Hold on, I'm trying to remember which one you're talking about. Haven.
Yeah, it's called Fair Games, but the S is a $sign because they're edgy like that. This was the CG trailer where they're like steal from the rich. We're gonna run the thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
I don't know, dude. Okay, here's where I'm getting fucking jaded. Where it's like a lot of the games, and that Avium was another one that I had just forgotten about. Where it's just like it's just kind of like just generic video game stuff.
Yeah,
Like on
right.
one hand, I'm glad they're still doing like new IPs and new properties and stuff and whatnot. But like I was looking at that one and I'm like, okay, what was the one where it was like fucking Breath of the Wild meets Ark?
Oh man, I don't remember because I just have a list of the names. Was
It's
that
like
Towers of Agasaba?
something, it's something like that. I don't know.
It might
But
have been
it's
that
like
one.
it was like the Avium one. I'm like, okay, I'm getting some Forspoken vibes. This one, Helldivers 2. I thought it was a Destiny DLC until it popped up and whatnot. Like,
Yeah, so I
I
actually
don't.
want to talk about Helldivers 2 for a second because
Yeah, I'm not
the
familiar with
game.
Helldivers. There's a book
So
called Helldivers that I read once.
the first Helldivers came out 10 years ago, and it's fun. It's a top-down, I think, twin stick shooter.
Oh,
So they're changing it up a little on Helldivers 2 with it over the shoulder third person. But they got me for a second because they showed like the PlayStation Studio, all that, and then they had this totally Starship Troopers esque fucking ad going on, and I got so fucking excited. I was like, no fucking way. Are they making a Starship Troopers game? Could you imagine Sony doing that? That'd be fucking
yeah,
awesome.
that would be actually pretty wild.
And then it was Helldivers 2, and I was like, oh.
See, I think because of that ad, like I didn't really know how to feel about it. Are we going for like an Outer Wild sort of thing, or is this more like Fallout? Like, what are we going for here?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what
Honestly,
the game is.
so many things have been inspired by Starship Troopers. They really should just make a really good Starship Troopers game at this
There's
point.
actually one that came out last week.
I knew
It's
there
in
was
early development, but Starship Troopers is kind of coming back in a way. It's weird. I like it though. I'm all for it.
Like phases.
So Fair Games. It sounds like we're fairly lukewarm on, pun intended. Helldivers 2. It's whatever. I'll probably check it out when it comes out, but I don't know. So Immortals of Avium comes out in July. That was this first person kind of wizardy. I don't know what the fuck was going on with this.
It looked like a first person Forspoken, honestly, is how I would describe it. Which might not be a good thing, but it might be a good game.
Definitely. I don't know.
I have no
feelings on it.
There's something very gamey and cheesy to me about just seeing the same hand animation doing these different sparkles for like 5 minutes of the trailer, where it's like
that's
it might be really engaging playing the game, but watching it, it was like I just could not take it seriously.
I was like, this doesn't look fun. I've seen the same hand thing. It's like in Skyrim where you're using magic. I'm like,
but BioShock, at least like you're so focused on other stuff, I guess.
And you have the story of BioShock to really entice you, which maybe this game will have, but as far as like trailers go, it just wasn't like they were trying to do like the epic fights and stuff, and all I saw was a fucking hand the whole time.
Yeah, that's all I could look at, and they're doing the same thing over and over, but with like a green or blue light coming out of it. Like it really just threw me off.
So we'll see about that. Ghost Runner 2, which I was a little. I like Ghost Runner. That game was cool.
It. Yeah.
So I saw that and I was like, that's neat.
I like the aesthetic of Ghost Runner. So I will say this: if there's one thing Sony has, it's aesthetic with their games.
Definitely, yeah. They know how to do varying art styles to a degree. This next one, I think you'll like. Phantom Blade 0.
Yeah, I was like,
it's a Souls-like game, correct?
It looked like one.
Yeah.
The 0 was kind of throwing me off because whenever there's like a number, especially for like PlayStation, I'm like, is this like something I'm not familiar with? You know what it looked like? It looked like almost like Sekiro, but like 1.5 times speed.
Yeah.
And that was kind of throwing me off is how fast it seemed. And I was like, is this sped up or is this how fast the game is?
No, there was a part where
that would be the type of game for me. You're right. Like that was definitely my vibe.
It definitely did seem fast. There's a part where like he was fighting something in this like square, and it cut from him fighting, and then he quickly ran behind a post or something, and then he
Yeah,
like jumped over and stuff. And I had that thought of the camera seems like it could maybe be a problem in this because it's going really fast. So either these are scripted or you're gonna have a hell of a time, and you're gonna have to just know how to play the fucking game.
and that's where I mean, like, even the gameplay we would get were kind of cinematic, where it's like still kind of hard to tell what the actual gameplay. And they did that cut to black it so fucking much.
Mm-hmm.
But that would be my type of game, to be honest with you. So
no, mine too. We've been getting a lot of this like Asian influence, mostly Japan influence, but like Dark Souls type games. But I'm all for it. Like Wolong just came out, which is one of those. We obviously had Neo, we had Sekiro. But I don't care. They're good. They keep being good, so keep making them. I don't care. Phantom Blade Zero was the next one. Was this that Journey like game?
I thought that was the one we just talked about was Phantom Blade Zero.
Oh, my bad. Sword of the Sea. I saw it and I read it wrong. Sword of the Sea. This is that Journey game, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Look, I like Journey.
You know,
I like Journey a lot. Journey's great. Journey was great back in 2010. It's great now.
It was. Now I'll let you finish your thing.
It was lightning in a bottle. You can make all the fucking Abzus you want. You can make all the whatevers, the Sword of the Seas you want. You're not going to make Journey again. So just stop. Stop trying. Go make something else. Journey's there. It's done. What are you going to say?
It's also... I was going to say something completely unrelated to that.
That's fair.
It's also like... it's an experience type game, right?
Yeah.
Problem is we can get that in other games and still have like a game attached to it now. Like we've kind of come a long way. So
yeah, because now we're just like, it's Journey. You know? Oh, this is just another Journey. Which maybe this is also a thing where it's situational. Not everyone's played Journey. Journey is very old now in terms of games.
True.
So, you know, you play Sword of the Sea and it says the makers of Journey. Oh, I've heard of Journey, but I didn't have a PS3 or didn't get it on whatever else it came on. I'll try this out. And then that is that experience for that person. People liked Abzu. I didn't, because I was like, this is just a worse Journey. But maybe that's your first one. So I don't know. The Talos Principle 2. It's just a CG trailer. Kind of cool.
That surprised me that they're doing that.
Yeah.
But Talos Principle was okay.
Yeah. I mean, it was a pretty trailer. Yeah, I don't think that any of that was in game though. I think it was all cinematics. But if you're into that, cool. Never. I'm also sick of these games. This Western art style shit, dude. I am so tired of it.
I need to find the list that you're looking up. So, because like I'm like all out of order.
Oh yeah, I had to. I'm on Fansided. Never heard of them, but they're like one of the only studios that had it listed in order of what it was shown.
Gotcha.
So, but this is one of those like, I think it was the makers of Gris or Grease, that gray game. It's another one of those artsy type games. It's just fine. I'm just not like.
That's how it was with like so much of this stuff. I'm like,
yeah. I'm just
like
not
Talos Principle 2. I'm like, oh, okay, that's it. Okay.
Yeah. we already have Gris. I don't need more of this stuff. Cat Quest, Pirates of the Caribbean. Cat Quest is weird for me because my first experience with this, and I think this is where it came out first, was I think Cat Quest was a mobile game. Yeah. It was on Apple Arcade, and I played it on Apple Arcade, and I was like, this is fine for a mobile game. But now it's big enough to where it's on consoles, it's big on consoles, and it's getting showed at the PlayStation Showcase. So it just kind of breaks my mind being like, this is that mobile game I played 4 years ago, and here they are. Good for them, I guess.
It is the ones behind Gris. You're right.
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of. We have Sony's Splatoon.
Oh yeah. So next one, Foam Stars. I saw that Square Enix logo and got excited. And again, this is where I still was holding out a little hope. I'm like, okay, you're having your indie block or whatever. That's fine, I guess. Show me some real games though. And then like Square Enix, they're like, oh my god, give me that Final Fantasy IX remake that's been heavily rumored, or give me Final Fantasy VII remake part 2. Give me something. Instead, we got Splatoon. And this was about the point where rage, unprecedented rage, started filling my body. They fucking Fortnite ass looking motherfuckers.
Yeah,
but then it's just Splatoon. And it was that thing too. They're showing the trailer, and at first it looked like Fortnite. I was like, "The fuck is this? Is this another battle royale shit?" And then they show gameplay, and I was like, "God damn it! It's Splatoon. There's just foam in the ground.
Yeah,
just foam in the ground." You know what? If this is free, I'll play it. Maybe it's good. It's not going to be though. It's going to be $70.
No, it would be a good free game. It'd be good. It'd be a good PlayStation or whatever Plus game, I guess. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, PS Plus game, something like that. This is not Square Enix. You're not listening, but you should be listening. And if you are, do not fucking sell this game for at least 40 is as high as you can go. 40. Even then, I think you're pushing a lot. And I already hear it now. Splatoon sold for 60. Nintendo fans are crazy. They're rabid. They're not mentally there.
Nintendo fans also, they don't have shooters, so like they got to take what they get.
Yeah. There's good shooters on PlayStation. Actually, there's a lot for free. Yeah. It's tons for free. Don't do it. You're gonna do it though. I know Square Enix. They're gonna do it. The Plucky Squire. I have no idea what this is. I don't fucking remember.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I went and like changed out my laundry during this. I think I saw like the first like screenshot of it. I'm like, I'm gonna go switch my laundry out.
Oh yeah, this is like the like storybook comes to life bullshit. I don't know. Again, this is just like something where I'm like, what the fuck am I looking at?
It's cute.
I guess it's cute. Is that what PlayStation is now? It's just a bunch of cute shit.
Yeah.
We got Foam Stars, Cat Quest, and the Plucky Squire.
Yeah, man.
Oh my god.
Ever since Stray, you know, they're all.
Yeah, it's true. Stray did this. That's why I'll always hate that cat game. Then we saw Teardown, which at this point I was rolling my eyes. I was like, why do we have a trailer for Teardown? Just put that in a blog post. Hey, Teardown's being ported to PlayStation. And then they did that thing where they showed the trailer for Teardown and they're like, oh, it's Teardown, and then went to black. And then it cut back. And then it showed the PlayStation coming through the roof and it said out this year. I'm like, it's been out for years on Steam. I don't fucking care.
I know nothing about this. So.
They're trying to do the moment where everyone goes, oh my god. No one gives a shit that Teardown's coming out this year to PlayStation. No one.
Teardown
not a soul.
On console, finally.
It's a really good game. I've seen people play it. It's got this really cool physics engine to it. And it's super fun. But it's been out forever. I don't give a fuck. This is almost as bad as having a trailer for Beat Saber. We'll get to that. Metal Gear Solid Delta. They put Metal Gear Solid Triangle. Come on, Fansided. What are you doing? Metal Gear Solid Delta.
This actually confused me because I didn't know what this was. It's just Metal Gear Solid. So
yeah. So this is Metal Gear Solid 3 remade.
But it's a remake. Just 3.
Yeah, it's just a remake of 3.
Is 3 like the big Metal Gear Solid game?
The first in the timeline.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. So
because I thought 2 was like the one that everybody wouldn't shut the fuck up about.
It is, but yeah, MGS3 is, I don't want to say divisive, but it's usually between.
So it goes Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and then 3, which takes place before 1, and then 4, which takes place after 3, and then 5, which takes place before 4.
Yes.
That's and then they're starting the remake at 3.
Yes. And know what's crazy about this game? First off, the trailer I thought was cool. I think what they did was, you remember the Resident Evil 2 remake trailer where it was just a rat and they kept doing the rat thing, and then at the end it was like, oh, it's Resident Evil 2. Oh my god. I think they're doing something like that where it's like, what's ants? Bird.
It was cool. I was more excited about them porting the original trilogy to PlayStation 5 so I can finally now fucking play
right. But it's weird. Konami's making this game.
They still make games?
Apparently they're back into game development. But when asked specifically who's making it, they can't give a clear answer. They're saying developers at Konami, and that's like, okay, what team though? And they go, So will this game ever see light of day? Hopefully. Who knows though?
Yeah.
Who
Hopefully, we're
knows?
not getting another Silent Hills 2 situation where it's just
Yeah.
in limbo and we don't know anything.
What we are going to get, though, is the Metal Gear Solid Volume 1 Master Collection, which you just mentioned. That is coming out this year, and that has Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3, for better or for worse, in their original release format.
I'll probably pick that up just so I can, like...
I probably will, too.
Because I've never played any of them, so I've been looking for a good excuse to.
It's exciting because Volume 1 indicates that Volume 2 will happen, which means we'll get Metal Gear Solid 4 at a stable frame rate, because that game is broken on PS3, and I'm not exaggerating.
4 is
People
really...
like that game, but that game is rough.
Is it only on PlayStation 3?
And it also is only on PS3. I think that's the only
issue.
Metal Gear game that's never been ported to anything. I might be mistaken. Maybe they've all been ported to Xbox by now, but I'm pretty sure Metal Gear 4 is only on PS3. Which is like that for a lot of PS3 games. A lot of PS3 games are stuck on PS3 because they were so specifically made for that cell processor. But I'm gonna kind of speed run these. Towers of Agaspa. I don't know what that. I think that was that Zelda knockoff. I don't know.
It is. I mean, like
Is it?
He literally has a paraglider. It's like the exact same animation of him running is like Link from Zelda.
So that's whatever. Final Fantasy 16. It's cool seeing it. This game comes out in less than a month, though. So I'm like, why is this here?
That's what I was saying. I'm like, okay, this is cool, but I don't want to see any more. I'm already sold on this fucking game.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. The trailer was awesome. The trailer was fucking dope. And what's even more weird is that it was like this week, that they had a press release where people who have played the game for like 5 hours were giving out their thoughts a day before the showcase. So I'm like, I guess this is good for Square Enix, but
I've been avoiding that stuff because I feel like they're talking a lot about this game.
They are. I mean, I get it. After 15,
I get it.
We're a little lukewarm on 15. I love it, but people not.
I've been sold on 16 for like a minute now, and I'm trying to like not know too much about it. And everywhere I turn, it's like more information about how Final Fantasy 16 is going to be, and I'm like, okay, like Jesus.
That's what Square Enix does, though. They're not subtle with anything. Remember how many trailers for what was that game? Kingdom Hearts 3 we got? Like 4 million. Yeah. At least.
That was Kingdom Hearts 3. I think I let it slide for that one.
We saw Alan Wake 2. That was kind of cool. A little more information on that. Two protagonists.
Yeah, that was actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
That is kind of still not really gameplay. They kind of had a little bit.
But not too much. A lot of it was like cinematic gameplay too.
Cinematic gameplay, yeah. I cannot wait for this game though. I've been wanting this for a while.
I like Alan Wake, so hopefully it's good. Assassin's Creed Mirage. I don't give a fuck about Assassin's Creed. I'm done.
It's a return to form.
Don't care. Don't care. It baffles my mind that people still buy this. Still. And am I saying that as someone who owns every single Assassin's Creed? You bet your ass. But I also own Knack.
I stopped playing them after. I think the last one I bought was Unity.
Yeah. I think for a lot of people dropped off.
I think I just was like, you know what? I'm done. And a friend let me borrow Odyssey, and I never even put it in my console.
Never just saw the light of day. Revenant Hill. Don't know. This is the same guys that made Night in the Woods.
Yeah,
some indie game.
Another teaser that we don't know anything about.
Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, Wee Bass anime game. It actually looked good. The Grand Blue games, I've never played them, but every time I see them, I'm like, these look good. I should get into these. Street Fighter 6 again comes out next week. Why are we seeing this here? Why at the Sony PlayStation? By the way, we've talked about over a dozen games. None of these PlayStation studios. None.
Yeah,
at this PlayStation showcase.
Oh, Final Fantasy 16
is an exclusive, yeah, but it's not a PlayStation Studios game.
Is that only?
But you're right.
Was that? What is that? That's gonna be for everything, right? The first one was
16. Final Fantasy 16.
No, Alan Wake 2.
Oh yeah, it's on everything. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Alan Wake was actually, I don't think it was ever on PS3.
What, really?
It was an Xbox exclusive. There was a while there where
Did the
People
remastered
thought,
ever go to
yeah, it did,
PlayStation? Okay.
and it doesn't run well either. I played it on PS5. I was like, it is rough.
Honestly, dude, the remastered doesn't look that much better.
It doesn't. Just play it on 360. But there's a while there where, especially after Quantum Break and stuff, or that announcement before it came out, where people were like, Microsoft's just gonna buy them. They never did though. Remedy is still independent. Or they're Bob. Remedy actually might have gotten. Epic owns them. That's right.
I don't
Epic
know.
bought Remedy. No, yeah. Because this isn't coming to Steam. It's coming to the Epic Game Store. Also, digital only release. No physical game for Alan Wake 2.
Wait. Are you serious?
Yep.
Did I miss that? What the fuck?
Yeah. Pretty wild.
I don't like that
Ultros, I don't remember. Tower of Fantasy, I don't remember. And I'm sorry, but I don't care. I just don't care. At this point, I was checking out. But then they got me back. Dragon's Dogma motherfucking 2.
Okay.
And right away, I installed Dragon's Dogma on my Steam Deck because I was like, I got to get into this. I got to play this game. Rogers pestered me enough about it. I have to play this game.
Here's the thing about Dragon's Dogma 2. There's a reason I wanted a sequel so badly. Is because what they have in Dragon's Dogma is really special, but it is surrounded by a lot of rough fucking edges. It's got a diamond fucking core, dude. Like it really does. But it there's like a lot of rough things about it. And if they took that core in a sequel, they could have one of the best games ever created. Now, here's my worry about Dragon's Dogma 2. The fact they're doing it, I'm like, praise the Lord, right? Like, hallelujah. Mm-hmm. But from this trailer, at least, it just looks more of Dragon's Dogma. And like, on one hand, I want that. But on the other hand, I really want them to push what they started in that first one. And I'm going to tell you right now, the system they have, this could be one of the best action RPG co-op games if they would just make it co-op. The first one isn't. There's no reason for it not to be. You have an entire pawn system where you make two characters. They have a bunch of abilities to like support other people. Like one guy can hold somebody, like while another guy whacks him. You can use your shield to like launch another character into the air. They have all these things and they're not co-op. Like
that's funny.
It's all you do all this shit with AI controlled people. So it's like if they improved on a couple of things and smoothed it out, maybe make the story a little bit better. But like that's not a big deal, honestly. The gameplay is where this game shines.
Yeah.
And make it fucking co-op. And like that's the first things off my head where it's like easiest 9 out of 10 game, 10 out of 10.
Yeah. You know, and I would have a little faith too now because Capcom has been on fire.
They have. They've been
these last like 5 years.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's ever since Resident Evil. Well, it's Monster Hunter World was kind of kicked it off, and then the remakes of Resident Evil 2. But it seems like every single game they touch is gold. Like they're just fucking killing it.
They seem like they're really tuned in with like what the people want and with like how to honestly it's just like how to handle their properties is what
because handling Dragons
really well.
With Dragon's Dogma, when that came out back on the PS3, that was the dark ages of Capcom. Like they were in a rough, so they were so bad that people thought that they were going to be done forever.
Well, Dragon's Dogma is like honestly like it felt like an experimental type of game. Mm-hmm. I think that's why people like me like it so much because there's not really another game that fills that itch. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm excited to try it out after I beat Devil May Cry. I'm gonna do it. But it's downloaded and I'm going on vacation or not vacation, Memorial weekend. So we're going to the in-laws, but might boot it up. Might try it out.
Do you like the OG Resident Evils?
Yeah. Like, are you talking about like the PS1 ones?
Yeah.
Okay. They're definitely like you have to be in that mindset, dude. You know, you have to
I would say Devil May Cry 1's a little bit of the same way, where you kind of got to be in the mindset to play it.
Yeah. I like old games. Like, I am a big retro gamer, so I can easily play older games. And
I think Devil May Cry 3 is a little bit better. You can really just be like, whatever with that game. I think Devil May Cry 1, you kind of have to be in the mood for it.
Gotcha, but 2's the best.
2 is arguably like a gaming sin. Like, it's one of the... Like one of the original sins of gaming.
It's funny of them. Too. All right.
I can't believe you.
Then we move on to the VR block, and at this point, I'm just so sick of this.
Resident Evil 4 will be pretty cool in VR though.
Yeah. So Resident Evil 4, they did show that, but before that, they announced Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2, and I am unabashedly shameless when I say I got excited for this. Let me be clear.
Have you
I
played?
love the world of Five Nights at Freddy's. Love it. I get it. I get that the fan base is children mostly, and it's kind of toxic.
The fan
But
base is just cringe, which is
and I
sad.
get that, and I like to not associate myself with them. But I fucking love, at least with the older games. I don't even know the story for that. The
I
PS5
think,
game that came out.
yeah, I think they're kind of like retroactively changing the story. So like,
Yeah,
who the fuck cares?
but
Dude, I have the older games, like the first like 4 or whatever, in
yeah,
VR, and
yeah.
they're a cool fucking experience. The way that you
No,
run the
so that was Help Wanted 1, and I played that, and I cried. Like, actually, I was too
yeah,
scared. Like,
yeah.
it is terrifying. And in this game, it's so cool because they're opening it up, and it's the beginning of Sister Location, where you're going
Ah.
down the elevator and things like that. And immediately I noticed, I'm like, this looks cleaner. This looks better. And then the elevator fucking falls and crashes, and I was like, oh my god, this is a sequel.
Mm.
Now, is it going to be? I think Help Wanted was the first 4. I don't know if Sister Location was in Help Wanted, so this could just be another remake.
Well, there's
But
the
I think
first
this is going to be
3,
new
and
content.
I can't remember what the fourth one was. There
I don't
was
know.
4, but I don't remember what the fourth one was. Is there a Five Nights at Freddy's 4?
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just 4.
There's Five Nights at Freddy's 4. That was the one where you play as the kid and you have to close the doors.
Hmm.
And there's like the nightmares and all that stuff. That's FNAF 4. And that was in Help Wanted 1. So, but I can't remember if Sister Location was in Help Wanted 1. Regardless, they're making more Five Nights at Freddy's. The movie's coming out this year. That's
Oh
kind of
yeah, I
cool.
forgot about that. Is there a trailer for that?
Yeah. There's a teaser trailer. It's like 30 seconds, but it looks fine. I don't expect much from it, but I want to go there for like a dumb experience of like, it's Five Nights at Freddy's, scary.
I'd
Um,
I'd watch it if I was heavily intoxicated.
yeah, exactly. It's a beer night. So it looks cool. And then yeah, like you said, Resident Evil 4 remake on PSVR 2. None of these, we're gonna go through all these, but none of these sold me on PSVR 2. Every single one of these, I was like, I can play these already. I can play Resident Evil 4 remake already. Would it be cool in VR? Sure. But do I want to
It
spend
would be cool.
$600 on a headset for that? Not really.
You could also play No Man's Sky in VR though. So
True. Arizona Sunshine 2. That's another thing. Is like there's no innovation in VR. These are just sequels to VR games. Crossfire, Serious Squad, sequel to Crossfire. Synopsis or Synapse. I don't even remember what that is.
yeah, I don't either.
And then it's like I think it's written in law. If you talk about VR, you have to talk about Beat Saber.
Yeah,
I'm
it's actually
sick.
true. Yeah, like
I'm sick and tired. I love Beat Saber. All right, put by far the most I played in VR. Shut the fuck up. Shut up.
it's a staple for VR. Like it's just
I'm
like a known
done.
thing. Like if you have a VR, you have to have Beat Saber.
You're kind of making me hate Beat Saber now because you won't fucking shut up about it. All right.
It's Beat Saber though.
Thank you. I think it's here where they showed a trailer for the new Gran Turismo movie too, and that's where I really lost my shit. I was like, you're showing a goddamn movie trailer?
Haven't they made a Gran Turismo movie trailer, or am I thinking of a different?
It might be thinking of something else. I don't know, but they showed the trailer for the new movie coming out.
I know they've made like 2 Need for Speed ones, but
Yeah, they definitely made those. I think this is the first Gran Turismo movie. It's based off a true story. Apparently, there's this guy that played Gran Turismo, and he got so good at it that became an actual professional driver, and that's what this movie is.
that's actually I like that actually a lot
Yeah,
more.
no, it's kind of cool, but don't show me a fucking movie trailer during your showcase. After that, we saw, really taken by surprise, Bungie came up at Marathon. You got a Marathon sequel. Marathon being Bungie's first game way back in the 90s.
That actually is pretty cool though.
So, and per the contract of Sony buying Bungie, because Sony does own Bungie now, this game is coming out to everything. It will be on Xbox. It will be on PC. So again, for a PlayStation Showcase, not sure that's what you really want to be showing, but it's exciting for gamers nonetheless. And then we saw some Destiny 2, the Final Shape, which is more Destiny 2. If you're into that, awesome. If not,
what a weird name, the Final Shape.
Yeah, it's interesting. And then we saw Fire Sprites CG trailer, Concord. Don't even know what the fuck this game is, but they're making a game and it's something. I don't remember what it is.
Like, we just know it's called Concord, and that's it. And there's pretty colors.
After that, they showed off that Project Q, which is their cloud gaming handheld. And Jesus Christ, Roger,
dude,
I can do better. I can do better.
You know when you like fuse stuff in Tears of the Kingdom?
So that's what they did. They fused.
It looks like they just fused a tablet with a PlayStation controller. Like, it legitimately, like, you'll fuse a sword and a boulder, and it literally would just be the boulder and the sword. That's what it looks like with just a tablet and a controller. It looks like
I saw someone
use the fuse mechanic on those two things, and this is the result.
I saw someone take a photo of a Switch tablet in between two controllers, and actually it looked exactly like it. Exactly. And I was like, what kind of fucking scam are they trying to pull? And the thing is, too, is that everyone keeps calling it cloud gaming. I think people are, or at least the industry and whoever's watching this, everything that I've seen, every single thing that I have read, this is, what was it called? Screenplay or whatever. What was it called?
Screenplay.
Fuck, I can't. It's passing my mind. All I think cloud playing. Remote play. That's what I've seen. It's remote play. That's it.
I'm like screenplay is what they make for like.
My bad. Yeah. No. Everything I've seen about Project Q is that it remote plays PlayStation 5, your PS5 console. It'll remote play that. That is it. It has said nothing about cloud gaming or that you can stream games from your PS Plus subscription or anything to it. It is only said remote play, but everyone keeps saying it is a cloud gaming handheld, and I'm like, they haven't said that. It should. It'd be fucking ludicrous if it doesn't, but they also made the Vita. So I know what they can do. I know what these psychopaths can do and not do. So temper expectations about Project Q. Because I think they say it's a remote playing device. I believe that is all it fucking is a remote playing device. That is it.
I like no expectations for this, so
I don't either. And it better cost like it's an LCD screen.
I just got the Steam Deck, so I'm like handheld it out.
Oh, congrats! Congrats on your purchase.
Thank you.
You enjoying it? Have you played anything on it?
I'm loving it. Yeah. So right now I'm kind of like I've been installing like emulators and stuff for like perfectly legally acquired games.
Oh yeah.
And
GameCube, then GameCube.
Yeah. That's one of the things I got. First thing I got was Dolphin.
Dude, honestly, that is the way to play those old Fire Emblem games.
Mm-hmm.
Path of Radiance or whatever.
But the two games that I got one game to contest out, and I've been playing a little bit in one game that I've been playing two games until Zelda came out, basically, and it was The Longing, because that was just kind of a game I was curious about, and Jedi Fallen Order. That was like it had a big sale on. I never played it, and I'm like, I need to test out the Steam Deck, so it runs well. So
I think it's interesting too because I'm pretty sure it says it's unsupported on the Steam Deck. At least it used to. That's the thing about Steam Deck is it's so open that like Mortal Kombat 11 is unsupported on Steam Deck, but your best friend will be protondb.com, protondatabase.com, because it'll tell you if games actually like run well or not. Because like with MK11, the multiplayer doesn't work on there, online multiplayer, but that's it. The rest of the game works. And it's because of their anti-cheat or whatever, and Proton. It's a Linux-based system.
So a lot of online stuff with anti-cheat fucks with it. I know that. I mean, the other stuff, it's more of like sometimes the text will just be a little bit smaller than usual. Yeah. You know what I mean? It'll be like very minor or very minor stuff that you could even like map to a button to fix.
Definitely, yeah. It seems like most games work though, and that's really cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll talk more about Steam Deck later. They also showed some earbuds. Wireless PlayStation earbuds. Didn't price either of these things, which makes me think the earbuds are $200 and Project Q is gonna be $500.
That's what I'm worried about. Yeah.
I don't know. But then after this, at this point, dude, like if the show ended here, I would just been like, I'd throw my PlayStation out the window. I'm like, I'm fucking done. And then I would have gotten it for Final Fantasy 16. I would have picked up the pieces. But terrible showcase at this point. We've only seen CG trailer for PlayStation shows and then a bunch of third parties. But they ended off with Spider-Man 2, which at first, they got me. Because I don't know Kraven the Hunter. I'm not big into like the lore of Marvel and stuff. So I was like, what?
One of the coolest Spider-Man stories in comics. So.
Yeah. Well, they started off, and I was just like,
And
"What the
it's
fuck
tied
is
to the
this?"
black suit too, so I'm curious if they're gonna. That's what they're doing.
I thought it was Predator at first. You know, they're
Yeah.
just hunting in the woods or something. But then he pulled up the map and it showed Manhattan, and then it cut to gameplay, and I forgot why PlayStation's the best, but then they proved it right there. This game looks so fucking good in
It
every
does.
single way. Every single
I
way.
I really like you switching between the two different Spider-Man. I'm
Mhm.
totally sold on that. Um,
Dude, when they switched, when it said switch to Miles and then it switched to him, and then but then it started playing the music differently. It was more of that hip hop upbeat. Dude, I fucking squealed. I was like,
yeah,
oh my
I know.
god, because it
There
felt
was
like Miles Morales, and I was like, they
well,
know
and
what they're doing.
that's why they did it so smart because there's so many little touches to Miles Morales that made him feel different from Spider-Man, and having
Mhm.
that all be together in this game, it's gonna be so good, dude.
It's kind of like they're
Um,
making their own MCU, honestly.
a
Because if
little
you
bit.
didn't play Miles Morales, even though it's titled Spider-Man 2, I'm sure there's gonna be quite a you don't know who Genki is. You don't know why Miles A has powers and B has
You can kind of
electricity and
make
shit.
yeah, you can kind of make that jump in logic in terms of him being Spider-Man from the end of
Yeah,
Spider-Man
because at
1.
the
But
end
you're
it
right.
shows, but
You
like the
don't
electric powers
the
and shit, you're
electric
like,
powers
what
and
the fuck's going
visibility.
on?
Yeah.
So I wonder how they'll do that at the beginning if they're gonna
I would
reintroduce everything
say
or
Kraven the Hunter is probably the last like big Spider-Man villain that we have like kind of yet to see outside of comics.
what got like oh, I see. Either like live action and shit.
Yeah, like we haven't gotten a
Yeah.
movie. I think he's might have been a side character in a couple of the games, but he's never been big or he's never been the main villain, that's for sure.
Yeah. No, he
So
looks cool. He looks very
he
threatening
is
too. And
cool, yeah.
Peter in this game, Yuri Lowenthal, who voices him,
Dude, he
does
kills
such
it.
a good job with like you can if you know about Venom at all or anything like that, you can just tell with his performance of that like just more, deeper vibrato, just kind of like slightly pissed off talking. Like
He has
he
like
doesn't
a
sound like that.
guttural sound to him. He does
Yeah,
such a good
he doesn't
job.
sound like that at all in the first game, and then it's like and there's a little touches too where there's a part near the end. Peter saves someone, but then like throws the person on the ground, and Miles does this little thing where like kind of turns back and looks at him for a second. They don't mention it or say it at all, but it's like that's not what Spider-Man does.
Yeah, I
Spider-Man
know. When
doesn't
he
save
just
someone and throw him on the ground.
yeah, when he just tosses him, I know. That
Yeah,
and that's where it's like I'm so glad Insomniac is handling this because like you can tell they know these characters and those little details do
yeah,
matter.
absolutely. It feels like Spider-Man,
I'll
which
tell
can't
you,
wait for everybody to say
I'll
that.
tell you,
But
they did end strong. I am very excited for
yeah,
Spider-Man 2.
good gameplay, but overall, the showcase, it's Sony released something right before this talking about mind share and how PlayStation has all the mind share. They're rated. It was like PlayStation, and then they. It was funny. They said other companies, and they had a red line and then a green line. I was like, wow, I wonder who those could be. But Nintendo was second, and then Xbox was third. And I'm over here thinking this must be old data because personally, if we're talking right now, Nintendo has the mind share. Everyone's talking about Zelda, and then this showcase happened. No one gave a fuck.
Yeah, I know.
Everyone was like, "This is what you have after 2 years. I'm gonna go play Zelda now." And really, I think I know Xbox, and we dog on them a lot,
They're lucky they have
deservedly
PlayStation
so, kind
Spider-Man.
of. And I don't think they can compete with Spider-Man. But if Xbox comes out and says, "Hey, Redfall is what it is. It's not a broken game. It's not Gollum, but we know it's not up to standard."
It is a bit of a shit show.
Halo Infinite, it's good now. We know we fucked it up, but here's Starfield, and it looks great. Here's
I think people are judging Starfield, or at least maybe I'm projecting, but I feel like Starfield's more of like a Bungie thing than it is like an Xbox or Microsoft thing. Like I know it's
you mean
exclusive.
Bethesda thing?
Sorry, yeah,
Yeah,
Bethesda.
yeah, yeah.
Like I know
No,
it's
I agree,
exclusive,
but
but I think people are gonna judge Bungie more off of Starfield than maybe
you said
Xbox.
Bungie again. That's funny. Um, no, I know what you mean though. And it's hard though because it's just like this is Bethesda's first game. I mean, really, maybe that's what it is too. Is that this is their first game, almost completely developed under Xbox's ownership. Every other game, even Redfall, you can be
Eh,
like, they kind of made this before.
I think Starfield's been in production longer than when
It
Xbox.
has, it has, because there's those stories about Sony trying to get exclusivity on it.
Yeah.
But I think it is one of those things too, though, that it's been long enough now. It's been over 2 years to where it's starting. Redfall is reflecting on Xbox as a whole. So if a Bethesda game can reflect negatively on a whole, I think it also reflect positively too, being like, hey,
Listen,
Xbox released a game with Bethesda that's good.
all Xbox has to do is come out with a banner trailer for the new Fable game, and everybody's gonna be back on their side.
Honestly, I think if they even just because that was Sony's mistake, and I get you don't want to show a bunch of things and stuff like that, but it's fucking ridiculous that we did not see The Last of Us, which we're gonna talk about that here in a second. Or we didn't see anything Naughty Dog. We didn't see Santa Monica. We didn't see San Diego.
Oh, we
We
just
didn't
got
see
a Santa
Sucker
Monica
Punch.
game.
Yeah, but there's that rumored other game that Cory Barlog's making. But we didn't see Sucker Punch either. We didn't see Team Asobi. There's so many studios where we're like, what are you doing? And the only thing they showed us were 2 CGI trailers from studios they just bought. And then Spider-Man, which was fucking great. But we've seen Spider-Man. We knew
Yeah.
about that at the last showcase 2 years ago.
It's the same thing with Final Fantasy 16, where it's like, I'm already sold on this game.
Exactly.
like I don't need much more of it.
So what was the point of this fucking showcase? To get money from third parties to show their games. That's what it felt like. This felt like a cash grab. Like, hey, third parties, pay us. We'll show your game off at a
it felt
showcase.
more like an indie showcase than anything, didn't it?
Yeah, it didn't feel like. So maybe don't call it a PlayStation showcase then. You know, because it wasn't a PlayStation showcase. It was a showcase with games that are going to be on PlayStation. But these weren't PlayStation games. Anyways, I'll leave it at that. I'm gonna quickly get over this because this is the second show this week, and this was supposed to just be like a kind of review type thing of the showcase. Here we are an hour 40 later, but that's okay. Talking about that Last of Us game, this is it, Roger. This is gonna rake in the millions of viewers. We're gonna become big after this. Bungie killed the Last of Us game? Question mark. So breaking news, we might actually be one of the first podcasts on this planet to talk about this due to us recording on Friday. According to a Bloomberg report, the Last of Us factions has been scaled down considerably and decentralized after a review by Bungie. This would explain why we didn't see or hear from the game since its initial release at the Summer Games Fest. Since its initial reveal, Last of Us devs quickly took to Twitter after this news report broke to assure fans that the game is still coming and that it's going to be, quote, amazing, end quote. But it might still be some time. Bungie's biggest concern, allegedly, about the game was its longevity and ability to obtain retention among players. Live service games are a big focus right now for Sony at the moment, so this would fit in with their current narrative. But Roger, how do you feel about this Last of Us multiplayer game? So the report was saying that it was getting toned down. They were kind of soft rebooting development on it because of Bungie.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know how to feel about that.
Well, one of the reasons I want to back up for a second, just for some context. One of the reasons Sony bought Bungie was because of their experience in live service games, and they wanted Bungie to help them out because Sony's reportedly making multiple live service games right now, like 4 or 5.
So they're like, yeah, you guys did this well. You want to be the Kevin Feige of live service games.
Yeah. You made Destiny 2. Yeah, sure, it has problems, but it's also the biggest live service game. So you're going to start telling us how to make our live service games better.
I guess that's smarter than what everybody else is doing, which is just to make it really bad and kill it after 6 months.
Throw shit at the wall and then shut it down. Yeah, but it's something about this just rubs me the wrong way, where it's like, because I would argue,
how long have they been doing this? I feel like Naughty Dog has been doing this fucking factions things for like forever.
It was supposed to be a mode in Last of Us 2, so it's been at least 3 or 4 years.
Yeah,
that they've been working on this. But something rubs me the wrong way.
Didn't they have, like, what was it called in the first Last of Us? Where it was like...
I think it was like factions.
Yeah, wasn't it? And I assumed this was like an expansion from that.
Yeah. No, that's what it was. That's what they said it was. And that's what kind of irritates me.
I don't understand why this is such a difficult thing, I guess. Like,
I don't know.
Because I view this the same way that like Resident Evil does their multiplayer shit, where it's like kind of just a tacked on thing you can fuck around in, but it's nothing you're gonna like spend a significant amount of time into.
And so maybe Sony doesn't like that, you know?
Maybe it just feels like they're running up a hill here.
Yeah, because if I had to put money on it, Naughty Dog, you can say what you want about their like your opinion on The Last of Us 2 story or shit like that, right? You know, people are divisive on the way the story goes, but I would say for the most part, their games are functional and they are fun. I think there are various levels degree of fun. You know, you can argue that
Dude,
the
we're at a
gameplay.
point. We're at a point now where like your game fucking works, and like yeah, you're good.
Yeah. I get that the gameplay is also maybe not the biggest selling point of those games, but I think the gameplay is fun enough.
It's not.
Especially in like The Last of Us, it's fine, you know?
Yeah.
And it was fun in The Last of Us 1 multiplayer playing against other people and fighting and things like that.
It was kind of neat how like hardcore it could kind of be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then having like a simulated like group you never see, but it's like simulate. You just see numbers basically.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I can see that idea being expanded upon and having a
Exactly.
neat mode on it.
And I'm imagining that's what they were doing, but then Bungie comes in and it's just like I
I
could see
guess
them right away being like, "Well, what are your seasons? What season is this?
yeah, that's the
What's
thing.
your
I didn't.
longevity expansions and stuff?" And it's
I
like
didn't
every game doesn't need that, you
dude,
know?
I am so done with seasons and battle passes. I can't even begin to tell you.
I saw Mortal Kombat 11 was like on season 70 or some shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Why is every game?" And you know what? As a casual gamer, and I say that in the most backwards way because I'm a pretty hardcore gamer, but I'm casual in every game because I play so many.
Yeah, you're a
And what
hardcore casual gamer is what you are.
and whenever I see a game that is like on season 14, 15, 20, even Destiny 2 is a great example of whatever expansion they're on. I don't want to play that game because I'm like, I missed the boat. It's gone. They're on season 5 already. I wasn't there for season 1 or 2.
The problem
You
with
know?
Destiny 2 is the way they do their game. It's really hard to like jump on board. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. But it is great at player retention for the players that are there because
I
they
think
keep coming
Destiny 2
back
is like
over
a
and
legitimately
over.
good game, but like I when I last went back to it, which like a year or two ago, it was so like uh I don't know, just the way they do it and the way they update it is like if I wanted to catch up, I'd be doing everything retroactively, and the way the
Yeah.
scaling worked, it was like basically pointless, and I was just like,
No, exactly. And I
But
don't want that for The Last of
I didn't
Us.
have that issue with the first Destiny, dude. I just don't want a fucking season pass. I swear to fucking god, I can't stand them.
so so yeah, I don't know. That's all conjecture also. I don't know. But yeah, just reading that and them being like Bungie coming in and saying basically, well, this isn't like Destiny 2,
By the
so
way,
redo it.
since you brought up Mortal Kombat again, there's some leaks about some DLC characters, and do you want to hear what one of them might
Yeah,
be?
I actually heard about that, but yeah, go ahead. I don't think we said it on the podcast.
Uh, okay, I didn't. If you didn't want to know, I wasn't gonna tell you. But Homelander might be a fucking
I
playable
heard that,
character,
and
which
that sounds fucking
dude,
awesome.
I love that. Like, I cannot begin to tell you how much I love that. Homelander being a character in Mortal Kombat.
All
I
right.
think there was another one too. I'm trying to remember.
I have a question. For you. Homelander, what is that from? Homelander? Is that the show's name?
The Boys.
The Boys. Okay. Have you seen The Boys?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All of it?
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to spoil something for me. Because I know Homelander is like an anti-hero. He's a bad guy. They're basically like Superman, but he's not good.
Yeah.
He's just kind of in
The
it
whole
for
show is like basically superheroes, but they're fucking dicks because they would be
Yeah.
in real life, right?
There's this one clip, and I've never seen this show and refused to because I've only seen this clip, and then it cut off, and I'm like, what happened? I can't. So there's one clip where there's this girl who's on a roof, and she's about to like jump or something.
Oh.
But then she's deciding not to. And then Homelander shows up, and he's like, do it.
Yeah.
Does she jump? Does she die?
Yeah, she dies.
Okay, I'm not watching it.
No. You need to watch it, dude.
No.
It's really good satire, and it's just got interesting story, interesting characters, hilarious fucking satire. Homelander, he basically
so
like
up, though.
It's super fucked up, but you need to watch it, dude.
I don't know if
yeah,
my heart can take
that
that, dude.
scene, Homelander basically just lost it. He's always losing his shit because he has like this complex of thinking he's better than everybody else, but also he like wants people to like him. So he feels inferior to everybody, and at the same time feels superior to everybody, and that's kind of his character. If I had to boil it down, and that scene, he like I'm trying to remember what specifically happened, but something happened that just kind of made him crack. And he's like, oh, I'm so tired of you just asking for attention. Jump, do it. Let's go, jump. And then the next scene it cuts to is her just falling off the roof.
Yeah.
Dude, I always quote I'm better than you. I am better. It's like my favorite line from the season 3.
I don't know. Maybe I'll watch it one day.
He goes full fucking Trump mode on all of them, dude. It's
Now
so
that
worth it.
now
You
that
and Susan
Netflix
need to
is
watch it.
now that Netflix is locked out from us because they're starting that bullshit password thing where you have to pay
There you
extra.
go. Yeah, fuck
So we're
Netflix.
just yeah.
I'd be
We have
really
Prime though.
curious. I'd be curious what your and Susan's reaction are to that show.
I don't know. We'll see. We're still on The Last of Us, dude. We're on episode 7.
Jesus Christ,
We'll get
dude.
there one day.
I thought
We
I
don't
was
watch
slow
TV.
at watching shows.
We're so
I just
slow.
I just now finished Mandalorian season 3.
Ha! Love it. So, all right. Well, no other release. We're not going to talk about any big releases because we already talked about that earlier in the week.
We did Gollum.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pick of the week. I guess it's Gollum
Yeah,
because that's only. Don't buy
mine was
Gollum,
that.
please.
Mine's
Don't.
that storybook game. That's my pick of the week.
Oh, okay. Roger, any other questions, thoughts, ideas, concerns, inquiries for the show?
Oh, for the show now.
Okay. It feels weird just ending it here and not doing like the last segment, but we already did it.
We'll be fine.
We don't have anything
No,
else
we
to do.
didn't do it, but yeah, for sure.
I mean, I did it earlier.
Yeah, you did it
this week.
because that's cool.
Dude, if you're a fan of the
It's
gaming
fine.
block, you're eating good this week. You got like 4 hours of content.
True.
You just get to hear my voice for 4 hours. Who wouldn't love that? Exactly. You can't name a single person. And with that being said, thank you so much for listening and or watching. Our podcast is on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcast services. If you're listening to this through the RSS feed, thank you. You can also subscribe to us on one of those. If you're watching us on YouTube and see our beautiful faces right here, hi. And you want to watch us on the go ahead and look up the gaming block on one of those. The old RSS feed does not work, but I don't think many people clicked on that anyways. All the old subscriptions should be updated on Spotify, Google, and iTunes. I'll reiterate this probably for a couple more weeks and then leave it be. But every other podcast service, we are off now because we switched hosting services, and I'm just not going through all that again. It's not worth the extra 2 viewers. Just if you don't have iTunes, Google, or Spotify, I don't know what to tell you. 2 of those are free. So,
Andrew, I'm a man of the fans, is what it is.
Yeah, I hate the fans. If you'd like to support us, though, patreon.com/slightlyemp. Throw your hatred some dollars. I'd appreciate that. This stuff isn't free. Roger needs to eat too.
True.
So I think that's
that pizza party.
We had the pizza party.
It's right. I haven't eaten since the pizza party, though.
He hasn't eaten in months, guys. Come on, throw him some dollars. Roger, thank you so much for joining me today on this Friday. We never record on Fridays. I kind of liked it though.
I didn't mind it either. Yeah,
it's kind of nice because all the news breaks throughout the week, and then
you saved me from going to sleep and waking up at 1 a.m. So
you're welcome. I'm trying to fix your sleeping schedule, which has been broken by Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, it has.
And I'm sure Memorial weekends, you have the next 3 days off.
I have. Well, I don't have tomorrow off, but I have Sunday and Monday off. So yeah, it will get refucked. Yes.
Just assuming all Zelda.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I think
at some point I should probably make a trip to the grocery store, but
adulting is it's neither here nor there.
It.
I kind of want to bring my Switch, obviously, to my in-laws, but I also now have homework. I got to play Devil May Cry.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
And I don't want to bring both of them. For whatever reason. I mean, it wouldn't be that hard to just pack them both, but I don't want to.
Get a Devil May Cry on your Switch.
I might have it on Switch, honestly. I'll let you know after. But I think
it goes.
I played.
If not, it goes on sale all the time.
You know what? So. Actually, it's right here. Let's extend this podcast a little more because it hasn't been long enough. I'm gonna go over to my library. I have so many fucking Switch games.
I love the sound.
See,
Devil May Cry 3, by the way, if you do, it has a special play style exclusive to the Switch.
No, I don't have any of the Devil May Cry, so I'll play them on my Steam Deck. Actually, I don't think they're supported on Steam Deck. I play them on my laptop.
Really?
Dude, you'll see. There's weird games. There's just random weird games that don't work for whatever reason. But
I mean, I guess they are older games.
It's all because of Proton. It's all because it's a Linux-based system. They're all made for Windows, and
honestly, just see if it's on sale for Switch because the whole collection will go on sale for $5.
Okay, I'll check that out. All right, we're ending the show. I'm gonna go play more Zelda.
Just same.
Thank you so much, Roger. I'll see you next week, hopefully. I'm gonna force you guys to keep doing this
at some point.
Yeah. So, all right.
Yeah, we'll just take turns like we have been.
Yeah. Okay, bye.
Can't stand that guy. Bye.